All right, let's get to the game that finished the day. And it's funny, as we watch the games, we prioritize what are we going to talk about first, what are we going to talk about first. And there's always that possibility Sunday Night Football is going to trump everything, and last night it did. 37-34 in overtime. And I'll tell you, I was feeling good about pulling what I call the hole-in-one when you pick the score exactly. I had Seahawks 34, Cardinals 27. It's 34-24. They're lining up for the field goal. They make the field goal, 34-27. Oh, but wait, the leverage penalty extended that drive. That was the turning point. That was the moment that the door opened for the Cardinals because they parlayed that into a touchdown that made it a 3-point game. And then to their defense's credit, their much-maligned defense's credit, shut them down the rest of the way in regulation, overtime twice, stopped the Seahawks and Russell Wilson twice in overtime. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And then they get the walk-off to win it with 15 seconds left in overtime. I thought we were going to have a tie. I'm glad there wasn't a tie. It was an exciting game to watch, and it was great to see Kyler Murray get the win over his boyhood idol.
Yeah, well, it definitely is. I mean, he's just an exciting player to watch. I mean, that was a fun game to watch because the two quarterbacks, they can beat you in the pocket doing all those things, but it's all the off-schedule, crazy playmaking stuff they do and the jams they get out of consistently, throughout the game. I mean, Mike, you're right. That was a huge moment of the game. Because it's just going to be a different story where, we kick a field goal. Now, all right, we're going to have to kick the ball off to Seattle. Yeah, we might have our timeouts and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, you're still going to have to go score a touchdown. And, I guess I look at Seattle a little bit, too, at the end of the football game, especially at the end of regulation. One of the things that jumps out to me, we've had this conversation through the years with other great quarterbacks. Why the foot off the gas pedal so much? The team is built around the offense, and then all of a sudden we know the defense stinks. It stinks. They're coming back. It stinks. It stinks. Oh, let's run the ball and see if our defense can make a stop. Well, what? No, your defense is having trouble making any stops all year long. I was a little surprised by that at the end of the game, especially when we got into the 3rd and 2 situation, that at least we didn't see a Russell Wilson anything, just the ball in his hands, run, throw, whatever it may be. He's the best player on the team. He's the best player on the field. He comes through that way. I was a little shocked by that approach by the Seahawks at the end.
Let me make an observation that just crystallized because as I was watching the game last night, Russell Wilson seemed less explosive to me than usual.
Right.
And I think it's because he was playing Kyler Murray.
I think that's
the explanation.
That's all there is.
When you put him on the same field with Kyler Murray on the same night, all of a sudden the stuff Russell Wilson does doesn't seem as special as it does against a Tom Brady or somebody who has less mobility, but he wasn't as zip away and gone, right? You saw him get swallowed up several times, which is uncharacteristic anyway, but it's even more uncharacteristic on a night where there are 48 passes thrown by Kyler Murray, and he doesn't get hit a single time because they cannot touch him.
No, well, Mike, Russell Wilson's fast. He's not on the same level as Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is, him, Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, they're the 3 fastest quarterbacks ever. There's no doubt about that. And as far as acceleration's concerned, I don't know if anybody can accelerate the way Kyler Murray can. I'm talking about anybody. I don't care, receivers in the NFL, whoever. His first 3 steps and his ability to get 10, 15 yards down the field in those 3 or 4 steps, it's unmatched. That is superstar acceleration. So I'm with you from that standpoint. There's no doubt about that. But, nonetheless, hey, Arizona's for real. Mike, your proclamation about back in March about maybe 4 teams in the NFC West going to the playoffs, it's starting to maybe look like it could be a real possibility because they haven't even started to play each other all yet either, which is going to be interesting as we go forward. But the game itself, man, couldn't have been better. And Vance Joseph and that defense settled in on Russell Wilson that last quarter and a half overtime, and they gave them some issues schematically, physically, everything like that. So I got to give them credit along with Kyler Murray.
Oh, they had the fake blitz that induced Russell Wilson to throw the interception that gave Arizona. It looked like it was going to be either Seattle's going to win or it's going to be a tie.
Yeah.
For Arizona to get the ball back late, piece together just enough to get in position to win the game. That was everything about that game was amazing, and you get spoiled by games like that because you want more. You know, you see you just want to inject it into your veins every time you turn on a football game. It is a nonstop thrill ride. And yeah, it's a lot of points, but so what? It's fun to watch, and it's fun to watch two great quarterbacks. And you know, with Kyler Murray, like, how many times this year are we going to see the play? And look, they should, I mean, it's not a criticism, but he drops back, he gets pressure, he sees a crack to his left, he slips through it, he sprints up the sideline, and he stops on a dime and steps out of bounds. I mean, I've seen that like 2 or 3 times already this year, and it's unstoppable. It just comes down to he is so good. He is so fast. I said this last Monday night watching their game against the Cowboys. I put it on Twitter. He's got speed, agility, and awareness combined that we've never seen before. Yeah. You're like, what about Michael Vick? What about Lamar Jackson? They don't have the awareness this kid has. Vick got hit. Vick got hurt. Lamar Jackson gets hit. He's going to get hurt. Murray doesn't get touched.
No.
Because he knows exactly where he is. He knows exactly where everyone else is. And he knows how to hit the ground. He got hit one time, and I think this is what freaked out. He got hit solid one time in overtime.
Right.
And I think that's what freaked out Cliff Kingsbury and got him to send out the field goal, the one that he ultimately missed, the 41-yarder.
Right.
He's like, okay, enough. Let's get out of here. And when they should have taken more of overtime, when they should have gotten the ball closer, and ultimately missed the field goal and extended overtime.
Well, at the very least, you bleed out the time to make the other team have to use their timeouts, right? That's where they messed up in that situation altogether. But
it's amazing how much happened in that last 2.5 minutes.
It is. It really is.
I mean, with three, a field goal try that was missed, a drive that was almost in field goal range, and then a drive that ends the game with the walk-off. And the game took 4 hours?
It was a long
But I don't
game.
mind it. I'll take 6 hours for a game like that.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it wasn't void of action or anything like that. Now, it was void of defense at times. I'll say that. That's where I don't always love it. And again, that's where it's going to be interesting with Seattle as we go here, because it just doesn't matter who they play. You could see they have a hard time putting a game away, putting any team away. Their defense can't make plays that way. And, we'll see. Jamal Adams being back, I think, would tell a different story in that football game altogether. And I even think Chris Carson, losing him through the game, that hurt them as well, especially when it comes to, we're up by 10 and now we need our sledgehammer to run the ball. Hyde is a good runner, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but Chris Carson's special in those moments. That's part of what he is too. So those will be two different things that the Cardinals have to face the next time around. But nonetheless, I think this kind of solidifies Arizona to where one of those teams where I was like, I'm not sure, are they going to hang on here and maybe be in playoff contention, or are they going to fall apart and not make it? And I think last night gives you enough evidence to go, wait, there's some fight and the toughness in the football team to where they're going to be in this in the long haul. We'll just see where it shakes out.
They're 5-2 through 7 games. Last year they were 5-10-1 through 16. So
amazing.
Great improvement by the Cardinals, and they're right in the thick of things. And I think the big winner, we're going to talk about their game coming up, is the Buccaneers, because I think they're the team now that you look at in the NFC as the most balanced, the most complete,
no doubt,
and the most likely to emerge. Look, there's still a lot of football to be played, but as of right now, I'd say the most likely to emerge from that group of 16 teams in the NFC. The drive that tied the game, we saw Larry Fitzgerald do exactly the same thing that he did at the end of the first half in week 1, where they're moving, the clock is ticking, the half is almost over. In this case, the game was almost over, and they were down 3 points.
Right.
A tackle is made on a moving clock. He grabs the ball from the teammate and sprints to the middle of the field, hands it to the official. It gets set, and they're able to get everyone in position, snap the ball, and spike it with time left on the clock. And I saw someone make the point last night, it just shows how rare it is in football for guys to have a high IQ level, because it's so glaring when there is a guy like Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, everyone should know that's what you do, but to be able to do it and apply it in that moment when everything else is happening around you is what makes it special. It's easy for us to say they got to set the ball, they got to snap the ball, they got to spike the ball, but when you're down there in the crux of bodies, it's not as easy to do.
Well,
and Fitzgerald is always aware of the situation, unlike any other guy that I've seen in recent years.
Yeah, well, it's what makes great players great. They have a calmness and an ability to slow the game down in their mind to where, they're just not flustered by the moment, the scrutiny, the intensity in the building about where they are. And yeah, most times plays like that, guys get up in a frenzy and wait, oh, we got to clock the ball, right? And they just drop the ball because they got to worry about, where do I got to line up? And okay, now I've done that. But yeah, when you drop the ball, now the ref had to run another 3 seconds to go get that ball and flip it to his buddy and do all that stuff, to where, yeah, he's been there, done that. He doesn't lose his cool. He grabs the ball. He runs right over there. That's it. But yeah, it's little things like that. DeAndre Hopkins, some of the catches he made. You get Kyler Murray, Kenyon Drake. We'll see where he is, but him, Chase Edmonds in the backfield, man, they got some little duo of running backs and people you have to worry about on their offense. And their defense, which is not great, but obviously made some plays last night. And we see some playmakers out there that can give Kyler Murray an extra possession or two. And he'll make plays and keep them in games or win games or whatever that may be. But it's not my favorite formula in the world as far as Arizona is concerned, but damn, they're good and they know how to work it.
You mentioned Kenyon Drake. He was carted off late in the game, so that's going to be very concerning. And it makes you wonder, and look, they moved the trade deadline several years ago from the Tuesday after Week 6 to the Tuesday after Week 8. This is Week 7 that just unfolded. Will the Cardinals, they made a trade the other day to beef up their defense in Marcus Golden.
Right.
Will they make some sort of a deal or try to make some sort of a deal to replace Kenyon Drake if it is an extended injury? I look back at their schedule, and they've now begun and most recently finished with wins in the division, beating the 49ers in San Francisco and then beating the Seahawks in Arizona. They beat Washington 30-15. The losses become glaring, though, when you see how good this team can be. To lose to the Lions,
right?
To lose to the Panthers by 10 points. They turned it around after that, blew out the Jets, blew out the Cowboys. This really, don't give me bingo for this. This is a legitimate point we're trying to make here, people. This is, and they go into their bye now, and they get 2 weeks to piece it together. But, good teams win the games they're supposed to win. And I hope they don't regret later in the year when it's time to see where everybody fits together and apply tiebreakers, that they look back on that Lions and Panthers doubleheader and say, what the hell did we do to ourselves there?
I hear you. That's why, listen, I'm not sold on Arizona. I know they won last night. I did. I get it, but I just still am not. There's something about the football team in general, and I think a little bit it is probably I'm scarred by the schedule a little bit. You talk about the Jets blowout. Hey, that was 17-10 in the fourth quarter. It's kind of a sneaky, not really a blowout, but we made 2 plays at the end of the game to make it look like that, so we all feel better about it that way. Hey, obviously whooped the crap out of the Cowboys, but had some struggles there. I don't know what it is about the football team. I guess what I'm saying really is, they feasted on really some bad defenses here as of late, okay? And what I just think about, I think long-term, what I worry about is, again, moments of staleness with their offense and just so much being on Kyler Murray, having to make the play, have to make the scramble, do all of that. I just wonder if it's sustainable. That's where I think, again, they'll get away with it a lot against the middle class and those type of football teams, but I don't know. There's some element about their team and their style they play to where I'm just not bought in yet to go like, oh, yeah, maybe they're a playoff football team, but I don't feel like they can make a real run in the playoffs quite yet. Does that make sense?
It does, and we're going to learn a lot. Get ready to put the bingo sign up again because after the bye week,
they got some games coming now,
Bills,
right? Yeah.
Right. Dolphins and Bills at Seattle.
Right.
On a Thursday night short week, and the Seahawks are going to be ready for them that time. Then at the Patriots, finally the Rams, the next 5 games for them. Although at the Patriots, not as daunting as it may have previously seemed. We'll be talking about that as well coming up. For now, Chris, last thing from last night's game, the DK Metcalf play. Running down Budda Baker. Budda Baker makes the interception that in any other situation is a pick 6. Nobody's touching the defensive back when he's got a head of steam, grabs the flat pass, takes off the other way. It's always a pick 6.
Right.
Except when DK Metcalf is on the field. And he came out of nowhere, and it became obvious he was going to catch Budda Baker. And you could tell from Budda Baker's body language, he's like, oh, my God, really? This guy's here. He's there. He's going to get me, and he got him. I mean, look at this. Here comes 14, and it's just inevitable. He runs right by Russell Wilson. Russell just gave up.
Right there, man. That's a fast
and
shot.
My goodness, dragged him down, and they ended up not scoring anything on
Yeah.
that drive,
Yeah.
right? Nothing.
So, no, I know. Well, that was an egregious interception. Really, Russell Wilson's first two interceptions were egregious last night, but they were followed up by Arizona not kicking the field goal there, so they lost 7 points in that scenario. And then Russell Wilson with the other interceptions, he scrambled to his right, I think, early in the fourth quarter or whatever that was. Hey, then Kyler Murray let him off the hook and threw an interception the next play either way. But DK Metcalf, I mean, yeah, it's him, Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin. There's only like a handful of guys in football that are going to chase down Budda Baker. Budda Baker, it's not like he's slow. He can run. So that was special. I mean, the way he turns it on and his knees start going up in the air and he starts high-stepping to run after people, wow. But the bigger thing is this, Mike. Where the hell was he the other 70 minutes of the football game? That's what I don't understand with the Seattle last night. Why did we wait till overtime to throw him to a screen? Like, why wasn't he given a reverse and had 7 screens at that point? That to me was a little troubling. As the game went on, it really seemed like Vance Joseph and Arizona started to lock down what Seattle wanted to do. And I'll be interested to watch that film and everything like that. But I'm shocked that he was kind of muted like that way.
Tyler Lockett had 200 yards too, though. So
I know
Russell Wilson was taking what was there.
Right.
But you're right. At a certain point, there are ways to design plays to get the ball to DK Metcalf, and maybe that's where they're at in the evolution of his career. He's a guy that you have to design plays to get him the ball because he look. We saw it in their last game 2 weeks ago, the Sunday night game against the Vikings. He had that mentality. I want to win the game. Get me the ball.
Yeah.
And I thought we saw that until the David Moore holding penalty called it back.
Right.
But yeah, get that guy the ball and let him do his thing because once he gets going, no one can catch him. All right, we have an Atlanta meme, I guess, because the Falcons blew the Seahawks rather blew a 10-point lead. What do we got? That's
right.
it. That's it.
I've seen memes of all this, right?
Yes, that's good. I like that. And hey, speaking of blown leads, Kyler Murray, and this is a highly specific stat, but I'm always fascinated by this. The NFL research Twitter feed. I noticed this earlier today. Kyler Murray is only the second quarterback ever to throw 3 or more touchdown passes and erase a 10-point fourth-quarter deficit when facing Russell Wilson. Do you know who the other was?
Ooh, well, all right. So wait, he's the only one. There's only one other. That's it.
Only one other. 3 or more touchdown passes for the game and erasing a 10-point fourth-quarter deficit against Russell Wilson.
Well, that would be Super Bowl 49 and Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
That's the only other time it's happened.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.